Good morning. This is Lee from LeeFranksmarketing.com, and I just wanted to put together a little sales program to kind of get your mind expanded a little bit to just give you some ideas of what I've learned hitting the streets for the last 4 years, working with customers, selling over $100,000 in product or other things, not just the main thing that I sell, which is hotel supplies. But just wanted to put 4 steps in place for you. I'm going to be putting some things on the screen for you to look at as we go along. So let's dig into it. Again, the website, LeeFranksmarketing.com. I'll post this information on there as well as a host of other things that you guys can look at that will help you succeed. So let's dig in here. Whenever you're going to call on a customer, the first thing you got to realize is you're the interrupter. You're interrupting the customer. I don't care what, they could be headed to take a bathroom break, and you're cutting that line of thought off with the customer. So most, who your target audience is, if it's a manager, a store buyer, somebody that's involved with the purchasing, who's down the line, either going to direct you to the person who makes the buying decision, which sounds really simple, and you see this in a lot of sales and marketing materials. Who's the buying person who makes the buying decision? That's an isolated term, and it's really so much more than just that. So what is that dynamic that is going on with the customer long before you ever get there? Most managers in the hotel business have 3 deposits that they have to do. They also have 3 dailies on a Monday morning, and Mondays is probably the most challenging time to call. So that would be the lead-in in your cold call is, hey, you sound busy. I hear that you've got 3 dailies and 3 deposits to do today, so I'm going to make this brief. I just want to set up a little bit of time with you and see if there might be an opening to talk about what we sell. It's usually about 15 minutes. But 15 minutes can turn into an hour. I mean, it just depends on what happens when you get there. If they're rushing you off, you can say, hey, this looks like this is a bad time. Let's set up for a later date when we're both a little more open to having a conversation. It's all about the language that you have with your customer. So that's the first thing. What's the environment that you're calling? What's going on in that environment? How's the business, property, store doing that you're calling on? What are some observations you can make about the property or the location before you go in that are all positive? I never include anything negative on a sales call, even if they're saying negative things or they're saying things that I can't control. You just learn to stay positive after a while. You can't control what they do. You can control what you do. So that's a good little rule of thumb to write down is you can control what you do. The more in control you are, the more sales you're going to get. If you get rejected and you're out in your car banging your head against the steering wheel, that's probably not the way to handle rejection, so you can get ready for your next call. The concept is what happens in your car, your office, your location, the deli you're having a cup of coffee in before you go to make the sales call. If your sales trainer is screaming at you on the way to the call, it's probably not going to set you up for success. So why would you scream at yourself? You need to be pumping yourself up. Your internal dialogue, which is kind of an NLP term, needs to be positive, and you need to be set and ready to bring spring to that customer, something happy. Your body language needs to convey that you're fixing to rock this. If your customer asks you a question that you can't answer, say, hey, I can't answer that question right now, but I can get back to you. And this gives you an opportunity for follow-up. If your product is something that's kind of a long-term situation with multiple facets and gadgets and things that are involved, or it's a multi-sell thing, or it's a residual sell, This gives you an opportunity to contact that customer again, which gets you beyond those entry-level points, and an opportunity to even upsell or continue selling, or have them call you every couple of weeks with an order. So rule of thumb is what's going on in that office before you go in. Number two, if you're calling them on the phone, set up a time to meet with them. You pick the time. Don't put the burden of decision on your customer. You help everything just flow effortlessly, and you make the decision for that customer. The first thing you're going to do is have a little bit of small talk when you do actually get the call. And if it's 10 a.m. on a Monday morning, which in my industry is not the best time, but it's probably not for anybody, you're going to go in with a little bit of small talk. You're going to get that person comfortable with you. You're not going to go from 0 to 60 and say, hey, I'm here for you to buy right now. How many did you want? That's probably not going to work in your favor. They're not going to tell you, hey, I'm too busy, I'm ready to put an order in now. I don't know anything about you, your company, how you deliver, and what all the costs are, but please let's put an order form together right now. They're not going to do that. Just like you're not going to share who you are in a cliff note or a thumbnail, just like they wouldn't put an order in super fast. Everybody needs to get to know each other. All the parties need to get to know each other. And this is a good way for that to start. One thing I do is I kind of weave in and out a little bit, where I talk about what I call comfort foods. We get comfortable with each other. I talk about the area, maybe what I've done in the past, the success I've had with other customers, friendships, products, whatever. And then I talk a little bit about delivery and what the costs are there. Nothing too invasive and nothing too hard. Just keep it simple. And then I may weave back into another story. And the way that I've always closed is I don't really ask for the sale. I just say, when are you guys thinking about delivery? When do you guys buy? If it's not right now, tell me when I can come back and see you again, or call you, email you, fax you, whatever the preferred method of communication is. Something non-invasive, because at that point we're friends. So if we're friends, my call is no longer an interruption. So this is the no interruption point, and it's step 2. And all these things have to happen so that you can either create one sale or a line of sales. You've got to be welcome in their home. They've got to have the bear's rug out, the fire, the warm cup of coffee. They got to have or hot chocolate with marshmallows, and wearing a warm sweater. You guys are wearing a warm sweater. It's all got to be there so that everybody in the transaction is comfortable. So that all happens in step 2. Number 3, of course, is what's your product? Where does it fit with them? What are the hot buttons? What gets your customer excited? And where does positioning that product, where does that fit for them? And how do they buy that product? How they buy the product is how you position the product. It's a two-sided coin. How they buy it and how you position it. You want to position it to how they buy. That's going to sell your product a lot better than anything. And number 4 is check with them on when they're going to buy. What's their timeline? Who are they buying from right now? Would there be an opportunity for them to buy from you? All the great things that are involved and make sales so great. I've had customers, it took me 2 years to get that first order in. Something happens when that first order comes in. You're suddenly okay. They're okay with you. And they're ready to learn how you sell your products, deliver your products. And you're there to learn how they buy products. Was it as intense as you thought before you went in and made that initial sales call? Are they paying their bills on time? Are they buying their products on time? Do they wait until the last minute and then want shipping within 24 hours? How do they buy the product at this point? But that also gives you opportunities to do upsells and different things. So I hope these 4 steps have been very powerful for you today. And again, the website's LeeFranksmarketing.com, and many more sales presentations to come, and websites to dig into and information. So You guys have a great day.